My grandfather, Silas, was a man woven from the threads of old tales and weathered wisdom. He lived in a small, isolated cabin nestled in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, a place where time seemed to slow to a crawl. He spoke of the old Blackwood Mine with a reverence bordering on fear, his voice dropping to a whisper, his eyes reflecting the flickering flames of the hearth. "That mine," he'd say, his gnarled hand tracing patterns in the dust on the table, "it ain't just rock and darkness. It's got a soul, a hungry one." He'd spin yarns of miners disappearing into the depths, of strange lights flickering in the abandoned shafts, of a low, guttural growl that echoed through the hills on moonless nights. We, my cousin Liam and I, would listen with a mixture of fascination and skepticism. We were teenagers, steeped in the logic of science and the thrill of adventure, and Silas's stories seemed like nothing more than old-timer superstition. Then came the summer we found a map. We were cleaning out the attic of Silas's cabin, sifting through boxes of forgotten relics, when Liam stumbled upon an old, leather-bound book. Its pages were yellowed and brittle, filled with handwritten notes and faded diagrams. Tucked between the pages was a meticulously drawn map, its lines precise, its symbols cryptic. It depicted the layout of the Blackwood Mine, complete with hidden shafts and forgotten chambers. "Look at this," Liam whispered, his eyes wide with excitement. "It's the real deal." The map ignited a spark of adventure in us. We had spent countless summers exploring the woods around Silas's cabin, but the allure of a hidden mine, a place shrouded in mystery and legend, was irresistible. We decided to explore it, to see for ourselves if there was any truth to Silas's tales. We didn't tell Silas about our plan. We knew he would try to dissuade us, to fill our heads with warnings and fears. We wanted to experience the mine on our own terms, to separate fact from fiction. The next morning, we packed our backpacks with supplies, flashlights, batteries, water, snacks, and set off into the woods. The map led us through dense undergrowth and rocky terrain, guiding us towards the base of a towering cliff face. The waterfall, as depicted on the map, was a cascade of white water, plunging into a deep, dark pool. The entrance to the mine was hidden behind the waterfall, a narrow opening concealed by the curtain of water. We took a deep breath, braced ourselves against the icy spray, and slipped through the opening. The air inside the mine was thick and cold, heavy with the scent of damp earth and stale minerals. The darkness was absolute, broken only by the beams of our flashlights. The silence was suffocating, a heavy, oppressive silence that seemed to amplify every sound, every rustle, every drip of water. The rock walls were damp and slick, the ground uneven and treacherous. We followed the map, navigating through a maze of tunnels and shafts, descending deeper into the earth. The deeper we went, the more the rock felt a broken bar wrong. It was slick, almost oily, and the air grew colder, heavier, more oppressive. We ventured into a large chamber, the walls glistening with moisture, the air thick with an almost metallic tang. The chamber was eerily silent, the only sound a faint drip of water echoing through the space. We shone our flashlights around, illuminating the rough, uneven walls. Then, we heard it. A faint scratching sound, like something was dragging itself along the tunnel walls. It was a low, rhythmic sound, a sound that sent a shiver down our spines. We exchanged nervous glances, our hearts pounding in our chests. "It's just the wind," Liam whispered, his voice trembling slightly. We tried to convince ourselves that it was just the wind, or maybe a small animal, but the scratching sound grew closer, louder, more insistent. It was a sound that spoke of something heavy, something powerful, something a broken bar unnatural. The air grew colder, the silence more oppressive. We shone our flashlights down the tunnel, our beams cutting through the darkness, but we saw nothing. Then, we saw it. A faint, luminescent glow emanating from further down the shaft. It was a soft, ethereal glow, a glow that seemed to pulse and flicker in the darkness. Accompanying the glow was a low, guttural growl, a sound that resonated deep within our bones, a sound that spoke of ancient power and primal hunger. We didn't wait to see what it was. We turned and ran, our feet pounding against the uneven ground, our breath catching in our throats. We didn't stop running until we were back at the entrance, back in the sunlight, the sounds of the mine echoing in our ears. We didn't speak as we made our way back to Silas's cabin. We were both shaken, our minds reeling from what we had seen and heard. The mine was not just an abandoned relic, it was something else, something dark and ancient. When we reached the cabin, Silas was sitting on the porch, his eyes fixed on the distant hills. He looked up as we approached, his gaze piercing. "You went to the mine, didn't you?" he asked, his voice low and grave. We nodded, unable to speak. Silas sighed, a deep, weary sigh. "I told you, that place ain't right. It's got a hold on things that should be left undisturbed." He told us more about the mine, about the strange events that had plagued the town after it was abandoned. He spoke of miners who had disappeared, of strange lights seen flickering in the shafts, of a creature that lurked in the depths, a creature that was said to be the embodiment of the mine's darkness. They say it was a creature that was trapped during a cave-in, or a spirit that was disturbed by the mining, or a miner that went mad and never left. Silas explained, "Truth is, nobody really knows. But it is there, and it is not good." We listened, our fear growing with each word. We had dismissed Silas's stories as old-timer superstition, but now, after what we had experienced, we knew that there was truth to his tales. We decided to seal the mine entrance, to prevent anyone else from venturing into its depths. We gathered rocks and debris, blocking the opening behind the waterfall, hoping to contain whatever lurked within. But the mine had left its mark on us. We were haunted by the scratching sound, by the luminescent glow, by the guttural growl. We were haunted by the feeling that we had disturbed something ancient, something powerful. The town itself seemed to shift after we had entered the mine. The nights grew colder, the shadows longer, the silence more oppressive. There were whispers among the townsfolk, whispers of strange lights seen flickering in the hills, of a low, guttural growl echoing through the valleys. One night, we were awakened by a loud banging sound coming from outside the cabin. We rushed to the window, our hearts pounding in our chests. The moon was full, casting long, eerie shadows across the yard. We saw a figure standing at the edge of the woods, its silhouette outlined against the moonlight. It was tall and gaunt, its form distorted, its eyes glowing with an unnatural light. It was the figure from the mine, the creature that lurked in the depths. We watched in horror as it turned and disappeared into the darkness of the woods. The banging sound continued, growing louder, more insistent. We realized that it was coming from the direction of the sealed mine entrance. We rushed outside, our flashlights cutting through the darkness. The rocks and debris that we had used to seal the entrance were scattered, the opening gaping wide. The creature had returned, and it had opened the way back into the mine. We knew then that we could not contain it. We had disturbed something ancient, something that could not be sealed away. The mine was not just a place, it was a presence, a force that could not be denied. We left the town, leaving behind the cabin, the mine, the creature that lurked in the depths. We never returned, but we never forgot the Blackwood Mine, the scratching sound, the luminescent glow, the guttural growl. We carried the echoes of the mine with us, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface, a reminder that some places are best left undisturbed.